Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. We finally have a full show for the first time since the Vietnam War, it feels like. I mean, at this point, Josh is showing 9 weeks. Really? That's 9 days, 9 months, 9 years. I don't know. He threw up 9 in the little box. I don't know. I don't want him to explain. It's been 9 years since we've had a full show, folks. Week 15, first week for many of you, at least for the playoffs. If you're in smaller leagues, maybe you're playing this week as your final week of the regular season. But, oh, what a week to start the playoffs it is, because there's a couple big names named out, a few guys last week that came down with some pretty big injuries. We have a lot to break down, some actually pretty good matchups for some of your top dogs out there. But there's a lot to break down, a lot to go through for week 1 of the fantasy football playoffs. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. And I normally say, as always, but for the first time in 9 years, Ryan and Josh on the show. Hello.
Since week 9. That's what I was trying to hold up there.
I would have believed you on 9 weeks, in all honesty. It feels like it. I would have believed
It really
you.
has, yeah. It's either been me or Ryan, me and you and Ryan, but not the three of us since then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, all I know is the highest ratings are when you're not on the show. So I don't know why
Not
you
true, actually.
No, I know. The first week it was just me and Ryan, though. It was like one of the most viewed. It was
But
just
now
funny.
It's become your running joke.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're the butt end of every joke. Have you not been on the show for 9 years? Come on, jeez, 9 years.
323 shows, Joe.
However many. That's 322 too long. Honestly, why? Like, how are we even still doing this? All right. Some quick news and notes. Fun fact, there's 3 of them. Is there probably more news than that? Yeah.
But there's only one important one. Let's be real here.
And it's the NFL will have a game in Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2024.
I got all my tears out already.
So here's why I'm actually okay with this. Because I know Keenan Allen was just set up to fail this week with Easton Stick at quarterback.
So I will say, Joe, I was going through a similar moment of grief where I was like, was I even going to start him? I mean, I was.
I was going to start him.
I wasn't going to be happy about it.
I wasn't going to be happy about it. So now I don't have to be unhappy. Like, I already know I'm going to be unhappy starting, I think, Brandon Cooks. Gross. But
interesting. That's what I'm pivoting to. Well done.
Ryan, it's almost like we've been on the same fucking show
for
a long time. Yeah, Keenan Allen is out for Thursday. They announced that, I mean, an hour and a half ago. I was just watching, Maggie and I are watching Psych on Amazon Prime. We have not watched Psych. Great show so far. Only 6 episodes in. And they do previews like as their commercial before the show starts. And it was for Thursday night, and I'm pretty sure it said Keenan Allen and the Chargers go up against Devonta Adams and the Raiders. I'm like, well, one of those guys is definitely out, but Josh Jacobs and Devonta Adams both questionable for Thursday night. Aiden O'Connell has not officially been named the starter as well, throwing that out there. It's all signs pointing towards him being the starter, but just throwing that out there as well.
Nick Mullins taking over for Josh Dobbs.
Great. Okay.
Hey, cool. Justin looks like he's going to play. Maybe Nick Mullins can sling it.
Yeah. Hey. Nicky Dimes. That's what we like to call him here on the show. Nicky Dimes.
I will throw out Dalton Schultz back to practice after a kind of a surprise inactive last week. Like, I knew he was missing some practices. I did not expect them to flat out sit him. So I actually ran no tight end in one league last week because there was just not worth dropping anybody. So.
I won in this league, so it was fine. But for 3 straight weeks, I picked up tight ends. They all got goose eggs. It was insane. So I dropped Cade Otton, who I had 2 weeks ago. Motherfucker finds the end zone. Thankfully, Gerald Everett caught a couple passes, so I didn't have a goose egg in that column. But shout out Max Crosby for being a fucking dog and putting up like 30 fantasy points. And Jaquan Brisker, dog. Your boy, number 1 ranked defense. But this is pretty cool. NFL will have a game in Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2024. as far as I know, at least in my lifetime, the first game in South America for the NFL.
Yeah, I think it is.
So this
There's been a
it's
couple
pretty
in
cool.
Central, obviously, with Mexico, but this would be first in South America. And
You want to try that again? You want to try that again?
Central America.
Nope. You want to try that again?
Mexico is Central America, dude.
That is North America, my friend. There are 3 countries that make up North America: is Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
Central America.
I'm well aware that Central America is in North America, but it's still considered Central America.
No, Mexico is North America.
No, Mexico is considered Central America.
Thank you, Joseph.
Look up right now, North America.
Well, the continent of North America is Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Central America is not a continent. It is a region, Joseph.
Yes. So if you look up countries that make up North America, it's Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
We're having 2 different discussions here.
Fantastic. So all I know is I'm here with dummies. Is all I know is what I'm here with. Okay.
American
Quickly,
education system really failed Gen Z, didn't they? Good Lord.
bro, that's literally what it is. That is exactly what it is. If
We're having 2 different discussions. Central America is still a part of North America. Move on. Nobody tuned in for this shit.
Yes, they did. You fucking morons. Okay. Dolphins. I wasn't on Monday's show. Although you guys didn't talk Dolphins on Monday's show.
No, we certainly didn't.
They played Monday night.
Because they played Monday.
What a smile to wake up to the Titans beat the Dolphins. What a smile that was. Oh, fantastic.
I mean, both those games, I did not expect Green Bay to lose either.
So. Listen, if I was going to predict any team to blow chunks, it would have been Green Bay. That just fit. Tommy Cutlets and fucking Mario from Goodfellas or something like that.
Dude, the agent is leaning right into this whole shtick.
Listen, do we or do we not think the agent put a hit out on Daniel Jones? Do we? 100%. I'm just saying, do we think that? Bust some kneecaps. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Tommy DeVito. I mean, is Tommy DeVito good? No.
His QBR would say no.
No, but serviceable.
Is he good for New York? Absolutely.
Oh my God. His dad kissing other members of the family. I was like, how much more Italian can this family get? The plastic surgery, the mafia agent, and now he's kissing people in the audience. Oh, absolutely beautiful. But the Dolphins, I don't know where cap for life is, but
ouch.
I told you so. I mean, this has been the writing on the wall, because what have we said, mostly me, since day one? You shut down Tyreek Hill, what happens? They don't have an offense. You want to know what happens when Tyreek Hill is injured and off the field? They don't have an offense. So it's pretty simple. If you just stop him, they can't do anything. And that's been shown in all of their losses. Also, fun fact that I heard, Miami has the lowest, or the worst. This is a very weirded thing. Their win percentage is the lowest against some of the worst teams in the NFL. It's some weird percentage, but essentially their win percentage is against the worst opponents possible.
I see what you're saying.
If you're following that, it was worded very strangely.
They beat up on bad teams.
They beat up on bad teams. They don't exactly. They live what their win record says. And the only team this fucking century to lose up 14 with less than 3 minutes left, the Miami Dolphins, folks. Now, I didn't watch it. I passed the fuck out in the second quarter. But looking at the highlights and replays, did Tennessee even want to be on the field for 57 minutes of that game? They look terrible.
3 quarters of that game.
Yeah, they look terrible. So,
I mean, Tennessee is a bad team, plain and simple. It's just
they're very they can play well coached football though.
They are well coached and they have veterans. So you can't take a quarter off against them. They're not that bad. So if you're gonna fuck around and find out, which is precisely what Miami did, they found out and now they look bad, plain and simple.
Shout out Will Levis though. He came in clutch.
Mayo Levis,
dog.
baby. Woof. I'm just happy that I am just so solidified that Miami's a first round bounce. It was so solidified. Love it. Now, to another guy we've been right about since he was drafted 20th overall to the New York Giants. I don't
think any of us were this right. This is a whole nother level.
we were taking victory laps after week 1 with 2 straight drops. I mean, now, granted, the Chiefs overall have not been great. What are we doing, guys? Well, I mean, what are we arguing here? Now, heat of the moment, I understand, right? Heat of the moment.
Yeah, any quotes after the game, you get what you get, plain and simple. You can't hold that against Mahomes or any of these guys. So.
Well, yeah.
After a game, I fully concede we shouldn't have microphones in these guys' faces.
So yes, but he also had a guy drop a fucking touchdown 2 weeks ago, and he didn't go off on him. He did not. He said, I could have put it in a better spot, which Patrick, no, you couldn't have. You put it in the perfect spot. In this situation, he's basically saying the greatness of Travis Kelce and the pedigree that we have as the Chiefs should have given us that play, and the flag should have been waved off. What are we doing here, Patrick? Okay. And granted, Dan Orlovsky, great job reporting. Not a Dan Orlovsky fan as a reporter, but he did some sleuthing. There were 4 other times Kadarius Toney lined up offsides in that game, and it wasn't called. Fair. 25,000 offensive snaps for Andy Reid. Never been called on him. You want to know why it's never been called on him? Because no dumbass receiver is lining up off sides.
You can't have your back foot on the line of scrimmage. That's not how this works.
Like, it's never been called in his entire career. It was only called twice last year, and once. It's been called 11 times this year. Okay, 11 times out of find me however many fucking snaps, because I guarantee it's less than 0.5% of snaps it has been called, right? Probably lower than that. They don't call it because no one fucking lines up off sides. I did not play tackle. I played 1 year of tackle, but I did play a lot of years of flag football. I played a lot of years of watching football. You just look down at the fucking ball and realize that you're offsides. Kadarius Toney was 10 feet away from the football.
Yeah, he wasn't even wide out.
guys, the referees in the NFL tell you if you're offsides.
Yeah, if you look at them.
All
you have to do is just turn your head and say, we good, we good, we good, and they will literally tell you. Now, the one issue was the Washington game with Terry McLaurin, where he did that. The ref said yes, and then they still threw the flag.
And they flagged him on it.
Yeah.
They're saying the same thing. They're saying Toney did the same thing, though.
No, he
look
didn't.
At the replay? No, he didn't.
No, he did not check. He looked down at the ref. 100% he did. But he looked down for maybe a half a second. He didn't. Okay. A check with the referee is looking, pointing, and like literally giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, it's like a back and forth. Yeah.
Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp put this out there. Shannon Sharp said all that stuff, and he was basically saying, Ocho Cinco, shut the fuck up. Like, don't try and defend this guy. But Ocho said, yeah, the referee normally tells you if you're offside. And Shannon Sharp's like, when? Tell him, Och. When you're in between the numbers and the sideline. Yeah. Not when you're literally sniffing the center's ass as the slot receiver.
If you're offside.
Yeah. Like, he was trying to get in Von Miller's pants, was essentially where he was lined up.
The one thing I saw that came of this is blow the play dead so we don't know the result. That would have made that ends a lot of this controversy.
Very fair. Also, one, it never comes down to the refs, so fuck you. 2, if they didn't do anything on that play, this isn't even a discussion.
We're not talking exactly because of the lateral. That's why we're talking about this play.
If Travis
Kelce said in New Heights, it was not drawn up; it was improvised.
Of fucking course, it was not drawn up. Are you kidding me? It showed Kadarius Toney gave up on the play. Like, if you see the alt when he gives up on the play. So yeah, that was great play by a great player. If he gets tackled right there, or he fumbles, no one's talking about this. Or he makes an errant throw. No one's talking about this, right? And then keep in mind, they go 0 yards in the next 3 plays.
Well, let's be clear. If he makes an errant throw, we're talking about how the refs saved Kelce's ass.
This is true. This is true. And now it's spun. Well, then that makes Kadarius Toney just a smart player when you think about it.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's fly through some of these questions here. Goff, Fields, or Stafford? Yikes.
Oh, not yikes. There is a right answer to this question.
I just meant yikes, like Jared Goff is still being considered a quarterback.
Yeah, that is.
Look, Goff is at home this week.
Okay.
I mean, that's the long and short of it.
Didn't he have 3 turnovers the last time he was at home?
good question, actually.
He did.
It's Matthew Stafford.
It's Matthew Stafford.
Has balled the fuck out, and Washington gives up the most points to quarterbacks. Spoiler alert, Stafford is stream of the week because somehow did not get over 50% rostership after last week.
He's available in a lot of my leagues.
Yeah.
Second to last home game, Goff had 3 turnovers.
But it's Matthew Stafford. There's no upside. Goff maybe has Stafford's upside, but it's Matthew Stafford.
It's Stafford. Yeah. By far, it's Matthew Stafford. Josh?
Yeah, I'm on the Stafford bandwagon. I mean, Fields is going to give you a nice floor. I don't love the matchup. Goff, again, it's at home, but Denver's defense has played really well. Stafford, to me, is just it's a safe play with upside also. Like when that offense is fully healthy, they're cooking. Like they've got Kupp, they've got Puka, they've got Kieran Williams. They're
got
good to go.
Davis Allen.
Oh, shut up.
You mean
all he needs is those 3, and that offense is golden. So.
You mean insert white tight end into the offense, and it works? They're all running flat routes and seam routes, guys. It doesn't matter. Those are the only 2 routes the tight ends know how to run. And a happy Taylor Swift birthday to all those who celebrate. Yes, I heard Travis Kelce is taking her to Texas Roadhouse and making the entire restaurant sing her happy birthday. Give her a nice big old yeehaw. Millie Mills, McLaurin, Higgins, D-Hop, or Diontae for flex in a PPR. Ryan.
I'm going to go McLaurin just because I think that's going to be a higher scoring game. I'm not ready to trust T. Higgins at all yet. Hop is interesting. Obviously, Diontae is kind of off my radar right now. Got saved by a touchdown last week. Give me Terry McLaurin.
Josh.
D-Hop.
Yeah, it's really enticing to go DeAndre Hopkins, isn't it? It really is.
I don't know how on earth you can trust Terry McLaurin.
Oh, I agree. I'm still saying
Terry McLaurin has scored more fantasy points per game this season than Patrick Mahomes, and Terry McLaurin is being paid like a wide receiver 1 and is the furthest thing from a wide receiver 1.
Well, remember he's sleeping with Sam Howell's sister. We deduced this like 7 weeks ago. We figured it out. He is simply sleeping with Sam Howell's sister. That's
gotta be.
It has to be what it is, because for some reason Sam Howell does not look towards him until the 3rd quarter and realizes nobody's within 7 yards of Terry McLaurin.
Yeah,
and then is like, oh, he's good actually, which is essentially what happened with DJ Moore and the Chicago Bears when they played the Commanders.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at D-Hop in a revenge game scenario, but there's also the fact that Derrick Henry eats Texans alive.
Yeah. Derrick Henry
throw a little bit. So
Derrick Henry is minorly good in division games.
Yes.
Minorly good in division games.
There are 3 teams.
Just a little bit.
There's 3 teams Derrick Henry's really good against, and he sees them 6 times a year. Yeah. So, pretty good. Yeah, Craig, odd week with the 3 Saturday games. Yeah, we're back on the Saturday stint now.
Yeah, when I was doing the matchup report today, I was like, oh shit, like I gotta figure this all out.
Some of this.
Yeah, and it's I don't worry about Saturday games as like a short week, so which is nice. Because then you got next Saturday, you have the Christmas Eve games, and you have the Christmas Eve games, then you have the 3 on Christmas Day. Yeah, where you're looking at the next couple weeks of some lovely Saturday games that we get to take part in. Goedert or McBride at tight end, Ryan?
I hate this question. McBride has such a bad matchup, but I still feel like they're dealing with wide receiver injury. I'm going to go McBride.
Josh?
Yeah, the answer is McBride. The way that Kyler Murray is hyper-targeting McBride, Zach Ertz had almost 10 fantasy points against San Francisco in their first matchup. That's fair. And that was with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. So give me McBride.
You mean Josh Dobbs?
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind, too, that was when San Francisco had Hufanga playing. Hufanga's out for the season.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because it's not like Hufanga was the guy that was like...
But he completed the defense. It's not like he was shutting them down.
Oh, yeah, but Fred Warner's the tight end guy, which is why it's surprising that, I'm just throwing it out there. Just real quick, for my Eagles guy in here, just for me personally, DJ Moore or Devonta Smith? I have Devonta Smith in my lineup, and I don't like it, but I also hate DJ Moore in Cleveland.
I'm wondering how much more injuries this Cleveland defense can suffer. They're losing Grant Delpit now.
Yeah.
And they started off as break you. Then they became bend, don't break. I think they may be broken at this point. So it's hard to bench DJ Moore after what he did last week.
I saw. So if you're into advanced analytics at all, Joe.
Okay, great.
Joe is super into advanced analytics.
Whichever name you say for the advanced analytics, I'm immediately putting the other guy in my lineup.
Probably. So Cleveland runs pretty heavy cover 1 and cover 2.
Yeah.
And DJ Moore obliterates cover 1 and cover 2.
Okay, that's not advanced analytics. That's just destroying a defense.
So to throw it out there,
analytics.
I saw this exact same stat about Cortland Sutton, who also got behind Cleveland's defense. So
you mean Cortland fucking dog? Oh my God. I forgot. How could I have forgotten? How right are we about Jerry Jeudy on the show, folks?
Yeah. That was,
oh my goodness.
I think that was the topic that got the most love on Monday between Josh and I.
Holy goodness. He had, pretty much the length of a Cadillac DeVille to get his second foot in, and he still couldn't do it. Are you kidding me? Bro didn't even have, there was so much room. Oh my God. That was the best play of Sunday, was Jerry Jeudy not getting his second foot in and dropping a 40-yard pass down the field. I will, whatever Steve Smith says, I will do, and we'll just live by, because I don't think Steve Smith's ever been wrong.
When it comes to wide receivers, yeah.
Steve Smith would call his shot against an upcoming team. They'd double cover him, and he'd still go for 150 and a touchdown. It didn't matter.
For what it's worth, Joe, the answer to your question, honestly, is both of them. I think they're both going to be fine. I would point to DJ Moore more as the upside play, just because he is the lone target. But as we saw last week, that offense in Philly, there's 3 targets. It's Brown, it's Smith, it's Goedert. That's literally it.
All right, great. So my receivers will be DJ Moore, Puka Nacua, Devonta Smith, and Cortland Sutton with Bijan at running back. Great.
There you go.
Perfect.
All you need.
I got Jordan Love at quarterback, but Joe, I'm not happy about it. And I'm happy you're bringing up this question. Because if I had the choice, I would not start Jordan Love. That being said, this is not the easiest question in the world. Injury plus a good Baltimore Ravens defense. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm going Jordan Love. I think he's going to have a real nice week.
Josh? Am I happy about Jordan Love? No. Do I fucking love his matchup?
I was expecting a very down game from Trevor Lawrence because of that high ankle sprain, and homeboy came out and delivered.
Yeah.
What I love is it's in Lambeau, and it's a team from Tampa Bay going into Lambeau Field in December.
Yeah, Jordan Love definitely has the easier matchup. If that's what you care about, give me Jordan Love. I'm always very much a talent over matchup kind of person, and that's T-Law for me. So it's probably going to burn me.
I'll go Love. He's been hot, and we even said last week on the show, Ryan and I, we don't like Love, and we don't like CJ Stroud.
Yeah, we were very much against those New York games completely.
Yeah, we're very much against them. Now, granted, CJ Stroud obviously injury late, but holy wow, did the Texans look bad?
Yeah, let's be clear. The Texans quarterbacks didn't average 4 fantasy points and are combined for 4 fantasy points in that game. So.
Davis Mills, dog. Right now, he has to start Ridley for Nico Collins, says Craig.
I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Marlon Humphrey can't cover anything currently. So as good as Baltimore's defense is, their secondary is
I was going to say,
and they just lost Kyle Hamilton, too.
Yeah.
They lost Kyle Hamilton. They got their ass beat at home coming off of a bye. And I understand they won the game, but let's be clear. They got their ass beat at home coming off of a bye, giving up 31 points to the Los Angeles Rams. I like Calvin Ridley in this game.
So, and they beat him through the air. To be fair, Baltimore's front 7 did a pretty solid job with what they had to do. Like Matt Madubuike was in the backfield.
Yeah, he was.
It pains me to say Jadeveon Clowney somehow looks good, but I guess when you have 3 other Pro Bowlers on the defensive line, that
you're
helped.
in a rotation, it's easier to look good.
Yes, it is. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, arguably the best linebacker tandem in the NFL. Their back end has been tough. Kyle Hamilton going down does not help. He wasn't the biggest in coverage guy, but Marlon Humphrey has looked hella fucking bad. Cooper Kupp had a scoop catch against him, made him look stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry for ever doubting you, Puka Nacua. My goodness, what a catch on that corner route. Yep. Holy God, that was insane. ETN, Mostert, Swift, James Cook, Jaylen Warren, start 2.
Can we start with, we're not benching Raheem Mostert in any fantasy world. Yeah,
we can't at this point.
He is a guaranteed touchdown, a term I don't like to just throw out there. For me,
but
it's probably Mostert, and then it's between Swift and ETN, and this comes down to Josh's argument of talent versus matchup. I think I'm going to play the matchup in Seattle and take DeAndre Swift here.
Are we? I would argue DeAndre Swift has
Maybe
more talent than Travis Etienne on any given day.
Yeah.
But I'll agree with you. I have Travis Etienne on my team, and I don't think he's had over 60 rushing yards since college. So it's very infuriating. Josh.
Definitely Mostert. He needs to stop being included in start sit questions. He's an auto.
I understand
well,
he's 31. He's 31. It's ugly. Yeah.
He has 18 touchdowns this year. That you're not sitting
here. Let's equate it to this. Remember when LeGarrette Blount had like 20 touchdowns in a season, and you maybe got LeGarrette Blount in like the 13th round. If not, he went undrafted.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent. Like
this
is the equivalent. Yeah.
Mostert should be started every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostert every week. Who I don't even fucking know who the Eagles play this week. Seattle. They're Monday night. I find it so hard to trust DeAndre Swift. I know that the game is like he should do well, and they need to get him going. But
we know they're not
every time they say, "Oh yeah, we got to get Swift more touches," it feels like it starts that way, and then he doesn't do shit the rest of the game. They're not throwing to him, so there goes his PPR value. So if he's not falling in the end zone, he has no startability. Well, and he falls down at the 1, and guess who scores the touchdown? It's Jalen Hurts. Give me ETN and Mostert. This is easy for me.
Yeah, I'm pivoting to ETN as well. I forgot how bad Swift's been the last couple of weeks. ETN and Mostert.
Yeah.
James Cook and Mostert. No, I don't. Just listen. Mostert and whoever you start second, Mostert's going to make up for it with his touchdown.
That's true.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Jaylen Warren has a pretty decent matchup too against the Colts.
He does. Yeah, he does. Elixir family does another Elixir Classic. Dad did not make the playoffs due to second place losing to 6 by half a point. Elixirs, I'm going to say I feel your dad's pain. I lost 3 games this season in one of my leagues by a combined less than 3 points.
Yeah. More matchups, he would have had a chance at the playoffs.
I was throwing the fucking season. I have 6 first-round picks this year and 3 in 2025. I also would have won last week if I actually looked at my lineup. I had 2 blank spots and only lost by 5 points. I could have won. I legitimately could have won last week. But why do that when you could just make the immaculate run of 0-17? Why would you even... Has anybody gone 0-17? And they started
I've seen it, actually. And I've seen it in a non-dynasty league.
Okay, that's...
I saw 0-16. Let me rephrase that. It was 0-16.
Yeah, I think you can only go 0-16.
Well...
It was before they went to the 17-game schedule.
Well, it's happening again, folks. So, no, my lineup is fully set this week. Don't worry. Guys, 2025 is my year, all right? At that point, I have 9 first-round picks on my team. If I don't fucking do something with that, I quit. I'm quitting. At this point, I'm just donating money to you guys. So I don't want to do it.
You still owe me the buy-in for that league.
No, I gave it to you. What do you mean? You fucker. Yes, I did. You dickhead. Yes, I did.
You did for last year.
I did for
you have to pay every year.
Oh. Dallas or Kansas City? Defense.
I'm not benching Dallas.
Not benching Dallas's defense.
Yeah, no, you're not benching Dallas.
Dallas scoring touchdowns is the equivalent of Raheem Mostert. Deron Bland is the defensive Raheem Mostert.
Also, dare I say, Chiefs on upset alert.
Ooh, what a pivot for Joe.
Chiefs on upset alert. Now, low-key did kind of believe it maybe like a few weeks ago. Despite how terrible we are, I was like, you know what? Defense is playing well. Maybe Ramondre's fine. Then Ramondre gets hurt. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And now Kansas City's pissed. So I don't like that.
So there was a discussion this week about should we be bumping Patrick Mahomes down our rankings?
Yes.
And that's fair. However, I think we are discounting how pissed the Chiefs are going to be this week. And I think we could see a different Patrick Mahomes than we've seen the last week.
Do I agree the Chiefs are going to be angry? Yes. Do I agree that they're also going to have 17 drops in the game? Also, yes. Do I also think Bill Belichick quadruple covers Travis Kelce because he knows how bad the receiving core for the Kansas City Chiefs are? Because he's seen how bad an NFL receiving core can be with the one he's had for 14 weeks. Yes. Yes, I do. Oh, also, Juju Smith-Schuster back-to-back revenge game, obviously. Obviously.
Going in.
God. Obviously. Okay, 30 minutes into the show.
I do like the point that Joe brings up here, though. Casey's going against Zappy.
Oh, you mean Bailey Zappi, the same guy who has the same amount of deep passing touchdowns this season as Patrick Mahomes? Yes, that is a true stat. Bailey Zappi and Patrick Mahomes have the same number of deep ball passing touchdowns.
Now, to be fair, it's hard to bench Dallas, but when I looked at my rankings, I do have Kansas City at 2, Dallas at 3. So there's no harm in starting Kansas City.
Bailey
Dallas
Zappi
has the upside like crazy.
Yeah, Dallas definitely has the upside because of the touchdown potential. You know, Buffalo isn't exactly like
it's not like he's protecting the ball.
Like they're going to score points.
Bailey Zappi is Patrick Mahomes.
Same guy.
When you think about it.
Whatever you got to tell
That's all I think about.
Just a couple of white guys slinging the rock.
That's
right?
Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog and
ketchup on steak.
I mean, it really is incredible that this man is an icon after
it really is.
The out-of-pocket things.
The ketchup on steak thing should have been the game over for his career.
One of my former coworkers went to his first time we go to a group outing at a steakhouse, GM's buying, and he asked for ketchup. And I'm like, you don't put fucking ketchup on your steak, do you, you fucking child? And he said, yes, I do. I said, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, great. At a nice steakhouse. Hey, can I have the ketchup bottle? All right. 32 minutes into the show. Upsides. Only what the show is literally named in the second half of it. Russell Wilson, top 10 at Detroit. This is Josh's picks, by the way. Puka Nacua, 100+ against the Washington Commanders. And Bijan Robinson will sadly not be doing this because we put him as our upside, but he will have 20+ fantasy points against the Carolina Panthers. Listen, I know we have dogged on the Carolina Panthers defense all season, okay? Is there anything more we can say, Josh? Is there anything more we can say about how historically awful they are?
Well, in fairness, they're not as bad as you made them just sound to be. They've only allowed the 4th most fantasy points to running backs per game on the season. They could be worse. Okay, they could be worse.
They could. They
since
currently
week 10,
they currently hold the worst record in the NFL. But continue.
They do, yeah. But I'm just saying, in terms of what they allow for fantasy purposes, they could be a lot worse.
Yes,
could be a lot worse.
My apologies.
Carolina, since week 10, they do allow 21.7 fantasy points per game to running backs, which is 17th. So they've gotten a little better, right? But during their 6-game losing streak that they're currently on, they have allowed 5 out of 6 lead running backs to total 69 or more yards in a game. And every single one of them has scored at least 1 touchdown. The best part about this is that over the last 4 games, Bijan Robinson has totaled 75% or more of the running back snaps in 3 of those games. And in the last 2, he's played in 100% of the snaps in the 2-minute offense. He's seeing passing down work. He's seeing rushing share work. He's seeing it all.
So and the best part
the best part is Tyler Algier has not topped 30% of the running back snaps in those same 4 games.
So you're telling me
the tides are finally shifting.
Arthur Smith knows his job is on the line.
The tides are finally shifting.
And he's
Bijan Robinson is going to win some people some fantasy championships this year.
Maybe we should throw the ball to Drake London. Maybe we should use Bijan Robinson.
Only 2 games this season has a running back not scored on the Panthers, and one of them, CJ Stroud rushed a touchdown in.
Yeah, I'm looking back and I'm like, all right, they scored here, they scored here. Oh, the one game the Panthers win, they didn't allow a rushing touchdown to a running back.
Surprise!
You're telling me Dameon Pierce, the dog himself, couldn't?
Pierce and Singletary couldn't get in.
I just dropped him, Dameon Pierce. Fuck that guy.
Wow.
Same.
What is he doing on my roster, Ryan?
I dropped him weeks ago.
What is he doing on my roster? Speaking of Ryan,
hey,
really loves zeros in the win column.
I have so much fun with this category. Normally, I feel like I'm just jinxing everybody's fantasy players at this point. So that's the real fun for me here.
Yeah, because currently the guy who I have starting, you have going for 3 passing touchdowns against Tampa
If you didn't
Bay.
notice the trend this week, because I'm so great at predicting touchdowns, it's 2, 3, 4 that I'm predicting.
It's actually 3, 4.
Not in order. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, Jordan Love has 3 touchdowns against Tampa. The Lions running backs as a whole have 4 touchdowns against Denver. In the 2 touchdown special this week, who I was planning on putting in my upsides until I saw you give him the 2 touchdown special.
Honestly, I was looking at this matchup too, and I was doing my upsides, and I was like, you know what? DK is too obvious. I'm willing to bet it's probably going to be fucking Tyler Lockett.
Hey, spoiler alert. I have the third guy in my upsides. So the 2 touchdown special goes to arguably the hottest receiver not named CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf at this point. He's been on a tear. But Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns against Tampa.
Yeah, obviously people are worried after what we saw last week, but he has 4 3-touchdown games this season and 3 more 2-touchdown games this season.
That's
multi-touchdowns
insane.
has not been a problem for him. He should hopefully have Christian Watson back in this game, and they're going up. He's going to have all 3 of his weapons against the most destroyable secondary in the NFL right now. Tampa Bay has allowed 8 multi-touchdown games to quarterbacks. And of course, they just got routed by not just now, but the route that happened, CJ Stroud and the Texans, 5 tutties in that game. This is a defense you could beat up on. We just saw Drake London smash them last week. You could see all 3 of these wide receivers find the end zone pretty easily, maybe even Tucker Kraft.
Ryan, are you telling me that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can't cover?
I am willing to go on the record.
All that money they spent on corners in the offseason.
You're telling me that Carlton Davis can't cover receivers?
Yeah, I'm willing to say Jaden Reed is going to run circles around Carlton Davis.
Yikes. Yeah. Hey, I wonder who said that.
Yeah.
3 years ago. Oh, they literally haven't changed their secondary.
No.
It's insane.
Well, and then to not even see improvement during the season, you get routed by this rookie, and then you just keep getting beat. Drake London, so many other guys are just beating this team up. Michael Pittman ate against them.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. So you're telling me that we overreacted to CJ Stroud being the MVP because he threw for 5 touchdowns against one of the worst secondaries in the NFL?
100%.
Oh, who would have thought? Who would have thought, Ryan?
I am fantasy football's #1 overreactor. And yes, I overreacted to that.
Beautiful. My picks. I was 1-1-1. The tie. Apparently Derek Carr decided to start, and he really shouldn't have. So I had Jameis Winston top 10 against Carolina. Derek Carr had 47 passing yards heading into the 4th quarter. Is what I heard.
Week.
Also, I forget where I saw somebody quote tweeted Ian Hartsitz, who put out Chris Olave has over 1,000 unrealized air yards or something like that. Which
they were talking about that early on in the season about how many times he was getting missed.
Listen, unrealized air yards.
That's a stat, baby.
No, that is a pull my ass. That's what fucking Pro Football Focus stat?
I was just gonna say
that
we have not had Joe going off on analytics in a while, so I'm enjoying this.
My buddy sent it to me, and it was somebody who quote tweeted it. Said, "Time to start stuffing these nerds into lockers again. Unrealized yards. How many unrealized bitches you got, pal?" I was like, "That's hilarious." One, Yeah, he goes on to say he has respect for Ian as well. Ian is a very well.
I'll say Ian is so good.
He's so good.
Yeah, he really is.
But I mean, poetic, absolutely poetic tweet.
Oh, it's well done.
It has 5 million views, and it should have more. Unrealized yards. How many unrealized bitches you got? Hilarious.
I believe Olave led the league in air yards last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did he lead in unrealized air yards, Josh?
Probably,
Or is that a new stat this year? Okay. My guys. Yeah, I said Tyler Lockett was too obvious, and Ryan cursed DK Metcalf. So JSN top 20 against the Philadelphia Eagles, folks. Why not? If the one they can't cover.
Dude, Bradley Roby,
it only gets
started great when he came for us, and he's looked awful since. So
imagine if I told you like 3 years ago your secondary was Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and Bradley Roby. You're like, oh, great.
And you now have the entire Georgia Bulldogs front seven.
Yeah, you have the entire Georgia Bulldogs front seven. Plus these 3 guys.
Yeah.
Nope.
I will say I do like Eli Ricks. When he finally grows into like becoming like a starting corner, he's going to be really good. He's played pretty well for us, but
listen,
our secondary is just it's getting torched week in and week out.
I'm happy for you. All I know is that in terms of offensive touchdowns, you have the same amount as the Patriots in the last 2 weeks. So
yeah, it's bad.
Yikes. Cortland Sutton top 15 against Detroit. All he needs is 1 catch for 45 yards and a touchdown, guys. That's all he needs.
That's all he does.
And Detroit has allowed 25 plus points offensively over the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Great. Like literally 25 points or more over the last 4 games to opposing teams. And the dog, the man, Mr. Elite, Mr. January himself, Joe Flacco, top 10 against Chicago. Now, I did not bold this in the show sheet,
I did.
folks. Josh did. Let me tell you a little bit about Joe Flacco, okay? Let me tell you a little bit about him.
Because you didn't bold one, and I like the Joe Flacco pick.
Yeah, of course. Joe Flacco's the funniest. Joe Flacco's the best Browns starting quarterback this century. Is that even a question at this point?
I wrote that in an article 2 weeks ago, Joe.
Is that even a question at this point?
Best quarterback play they've seen in ages.
In ages, literally in ages. Literally, this
probably
is
since they left Cleveland and were given a new franchise. Yeah,
absolutely insane. Like rolling to his right, throwing back across his body. Granted, nobody was even sniffing David Bell in the middle of the field, but still,
that was crazy.
It's just
what's funny is it has become so unroutine in Cleveland to find the wide open wide receiver that to see a guy do it twice because he found Njoku in the first quarter. It's fucking mind blowing. So
I don't like Stefanski. I always get him and O'Connell. They both look like the same, just generic popsicles next to each other. So I can't really tell who's who, but it's Stefanski in Cleveland. Thank you. Stefanski. I mean, I don't want to say it. Coach of the year at this point.
I was gonna say he might be. He's got a pretty damn good case. For
if they make the playoffs, you have to give it to him.
The amount of injuries that Cleveland has gone through. They're on their 4th starting quarterback this year, and they're in prime position for a playoff spot.
They pulled Joe Flacco off of Sunday dinner with mom.
Yeah.
And he's slinging touchdowns.
Yanked him out of the Cracker Barrel.
And also, I forgot, Joe Flacco is like a really good spiral. Like, just a really good throw. Now, it takes him, a Justin Fields amount of time to get the ball out of his hand because it looks like he's moving so slow. But I do legitimately like Joe Flacco this week. The Bears defense they're not scary. They're not good. They played Jared Goff outside in cold weather on the road. Joe Flacco has been playing in this kind of weather his entire career. So I feel pretty good about Joe Flacco. Are you going to throw up putting him in your lineup? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I spent $100 in fab on him in a Dynasty Superflex league because I was pretty desperate last week.
Well, if you made the playoffs with Justin Herbert as your quarterback, you fucking need somebody.
Right.
And if you've listened to us, Jake Browning probably
Matt Stafford is the playoff schedule is incredible.
It is insane. Matt Stafford, made it past. But yeah, I like Joe Flacco a lot. Let's fly through some of these questions. Joe is hiding under a trailer watching the show, but he told us
next level commitment, man.
Well, he said he's got to park a truck. His boss caught him. It's okay though. He's also the league commissioner. So look at that. Look at that. My burner account coming in clutch. Miami's defense, 49ers defense, Houston's defense. Also, separate question: can the Chiefs defense be trusted against the Patriots? Ryan.
All 4 of those defenses are, I think, in my top 5. 49ers are my number 1. You're playing the 49ers against Arizona.
Niners. Josh. Oh, you don't give a shit about defense. Why are we even asking you?
Yeah, 49ers is fine.
Yeah, great. That's like the kid cheating on somebody else's test. Like, I don't really care why I'm here. 49ers defense. Yeah, against Arizona, no doubt. Listen, it's just something. It's just something, right? You want to talk about a team that's really fucking cold right now? It's the Chiefs. You want to talk about a team that's being exposed? It's the Chiefs. I'm not
they just
saying
don't have reliable wide receiver play right now.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Patriots are good. In no way, shape, or form am I saying the Patriots are good. I want them to lose. I want them to get the 2nd overall pick in the draft. I want them to lose.
There's also a world where Zach Wilson comes out and balls on the Miami defense.
100%. 100%.
49ers are safe.
I weirdly like the Patriots this week. Don't ask me why.
Which is weird. If you followed the show for the last 2 months where Joe has just been destroyed.
It's just that it's less them.
Especially now with all the buzz, like, the decision's already been made. Bill Belichick's out at the end of the year.
Listen, get him the fuck out of here. Thanks.
Well, I get that, but it's
like
this kind of stuff shouldn't be leaking is what I'm getting at. And to me is what feels weird.
Sure. Yeah. Especially out of a Patriots organization.
Correct.
Yeah. What I feel like I feel like somebody just pulled it out of their ass. I really do feel like somebody just pulled that report out of their ass because they're
going to be able to say it was right when it happens.
100%. Yeah, because any other coach would have been fired at this point in the season. Yeah. So yes, I feel like somebody pulled it out of their ass. I don't love it. So yeah. Nico is out. Have Ridley and Josh Jake and his oh wow, I am fucked up.
So essentially, if Nico is out, can he play Ridley? Oh,
I have Travis Etienne for Josh Jacobs and Nico Collins. I have Ridley in. Okay, so
either or on these two, but for me, it's Etienne and Ridley. Ride them both.
Well, here's
I'd like
the thing.
to know more about Jacobs' injury.
Etienne has the injury tag. Josh Jacobs plays tomorrow. Yep. I think that's what he's getting at. We're rolling a dice with Etienne.
Yeah, I guess, you can't really.
Oh, no, Jacobs has the injury tag, too.
Yeah.
If Jacobs is healthy, I like Jacobs.
I love Jacobs if he's healthy. I said this on the Monday show. I think Jacobs is a solid play for the rest of the fantasy season. This short week seems like a week where they're going to sit him. So I'm going to not play him, and I'm going to go Etienne and Ridley. But I will say, if Jacobs is playing tomorrow, you're running the same risk with both running backs. So.
Yeah. I love Ridley this week, which is weird to say.
Yeah, Ridley. Yeah, do not be worried about Calvin Ridley. I think this is a pop week.
Yeah. Here we go. Kicker question. Josh, over to you. McManus or Groupie? Can you tell me what team Blake Groupie plays for?
Saints.
Look at you.
And they're in a dome. It's Groupie.
And they're in a dome, yeah. McManus has been great this year, though, so I'm kind of leaning that way, but...
Timeout. Did we not see Groupie miss a 26-yard field goal?
Literally, yeah.
It was a rough week for kickers. There's no denying that. So.
I will say, I did say if you needed a free agent kicker last week, I figured Groupie was out there for you. I did say to pick him up. So, and I also said, he's been known to fuck up a short kick. And boy, did he fuck up a short kick.
I mean, Younghoe Koo, 2 weeks after becoming the NFL's most accurate kicker, misses 2 field goals last week.
Yeah, obviously. Duh. I like Brandon McManus more. He's got a bigger leg. He's also just more accurate. It's Jacksonville. It's not like it's bad weather.
Yeah, you're not dealing with bad weather as long as there's no freak rain shower.
Yeah, and it's December, so we should all be fine. And also drop Charbonnet or Dowdle for Chase Brown in a standard.
I'm not dropping Charbonnet just because re-injury to Kenneth Walker. There's a little bit more of a play there.
Hi, Rico.
Yeah, I'm fine with dropping Rico Dowdle. Brown is showing something, and me and Josh talked about this a lot on Monday. Mixon really isn't. He's done well on volume, but he's looked terrible efficiency, whereas Brown looks quick, man. I like what I'm seeing.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He is fast. When he broke that long one, I gave a little giggle to myself because obviously you guys know I accidentally drafted Sean Tucker in the second round when I 100% meant to draft Chase Brown going back to the rookie draft this year. And I was like, fuck you. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Chase Brown looks great. I think a lot of people were waiting for this to happen with Joe Mixon. We all knew his efficiency was terrible last year.
Certainly waiting for it to happen with Chase Brown.
Yeah.
He's been dealing with some injuries through most of the season, though.
He has, yes, 100%. Last one before we get into downsides, McBride or Isaiah Likely? Great question, Ryan.
I'm gonna play the matchup. It's what I do. Give me Isaiah Likely.
Josh.
I can't sit Trey McBride. I don't care who he's playing. He's a top 5 tight end for me rest of the season.
I'll go Likely. I will. If the question was Mark Andrews or Trey McBride,
Isaiah Likely is not Mark Andrews, though.
I'm aware he's running the same route. And I don't know if you've seen Jacksonville's safeties recently. They suck. I don't know if you've seen that. They're terrible. And Trey McBride, I feel more comfortable starting Isaiah Likely against Andre Cisco instead of Trey McBride against Fred Warner. That's all. Andre Cisco. Foyesade Oluokun and Devin Lloyd will not even sniff Isaiah Likely.
They don't play coverage. So.
No, they don't, because Foyesade Oluokun's the best fucking linebacker in the NFL. Bobby Wagner withstanding, obviously. The man, the myth, the legend. We love Bobby Wagner here. Okay, downsides. I got really fucking stupid with my downsides. I'm excited to get to mine. Josh, you were 2-1 last week. You have no Panthers offensive player tops 11 fantasy points against Atlanta. Will they even top 11 yards as an offense? That's a great question. We'll see. Bijan Robinson under 10 fantasy points against the Rams, and Jake Browning not top 15 against Minnesota. I know you have the Panthers highlighted, so I will quickly say something. Brian Flores for coordinator of the year, folks. I mean,
no shit.
Yeah, you've been shitting on Minnesota literally all season, and he's come out.
Look at their fucking roster, first off. Brian Flores is a dog.
Their defense is literally offensive kryptonite, apparently.
Yeah. Brian Flores is one of the best, a prime example of a guy. Now, granted, I do think he was let go in Miami a little early, but a prime example of a guy who is a hashtag racism, who is a money coordinator, but maybe not a great head coach. Like,
I just think he was trying to follow too much in the Bill Belichick way 100%. Of doing things.
100%.
And that it's just not, that's a 25-year ago type of head coach.
Agreed. And Mike McDaniel is a 20 years from now ideology.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, I mean, a prime example of, you could argue that this man is the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. Because if you gave him what Dan Quinn has, do the Cowboys even allow a fucking point?
A point? I mean,
he literally, now granted, it's the Raiders, but still, you have to cover Devonta Adams, Jacoby Myers, Josh Jacobs.
And the Bears 2 weeks before that. They have not allowed a touchdown in 2 games.
So. Like, this man is working with high school football players and giving up 0 offensive touchdowns. Yeah. It's pretty good. But the Panthers offensive player, nobody tops 11 fantasy points. You weren't feeling good about 10. You had to go to 11.
Yeah, I had to go to 11.
Bullshit stat you're about to pull out of your ass.
I thought about that, and I'm like, 11 feels like a little bit more cushion. But
yeah, 10, I hope it's 11.1, you dick.
Knowing my luck, it probably will be. But since week 10, Atlanta allows 15.7 to quarterbacks, 18th most, 17.8 to running backs, 27th, and then 21.8 to wide receivers, which is actually 3rd stingiest. But 14.8 to tight ends, which is 5th most. But here's the fun part.
They don't have a tight end.
It doesn't have a tight end. So I feel fine there. But
you're saying Tommy Tremble's not the guy?
Yeah, really not feeling it. I mean, Carolina's offense just in general they're in shambles right now, and there just is no light at the end of the tunnel, in my opinion. they're hurting. So
I will say
Chuba Hubbard does scare me from this.
Chuba Hubbard's interesting.
Josh, we love Chuba on the show.
The one that's going to get you, Josh, we talked about this on Monday. Jonathan Mingo was 2 floated balls away from like a 70-yard touchdown last week.
Yeah.
If Bryce Young can calm his fucking feet down for one play, I know, Josh, but that's what's going to get you.
So, Ryan, you're telling
honestly,
me...
I'm more concerned with Chuba Hubbard just because of the usage and the utilization.
The volume.
But AJ Terrell has played really well this year, and Atlanta has limited wide receivers. Like I said, the 3rd stingiest so far just through the last 10 weeks. And I think on the season, they're like 6th or 7th stingiest.
Yeah.
So they've played really well in that secondary. Mingo doesn't scare me in that perspective. It's Chuba Hubbard.
Mingo scares nobody.
Correct.
Two things in this whole thing. One, shout out Joe for calling out Atlanta's defensive additions this past year. It feels really good when preseason takes make their way throughout the season. Secondly, it's almost like, Ryan, you're saying that Alabama quarterbacks don't play well in the NFL. It's almost like you're saying that because did we or did we not just see Tua get exposed without a guy who runs like Usain Bolt?
Fair enough.
Have we or have we not seen CJ Stroud run circles around Bryce Young as a quarterback so far?
Just wait until they bench Browning for AJ McCarron, and then everything's going to be okay.
Up until Tua Tagovailoa, AJ McCarron was the best Alabama quarterback produced by Nick Saban. Get that through your fucking skull. That's insane. Ryan, your picks. Speaking of the aforementioned, Tua T, not top 10 in New York against the Jets. Drake London under 10 fantasy points in Carolina. And fuck you, Travis Kelce, no touchdown special in New England.
Hey, the no touchdown special has a way better chance than the 2 touchdown special.
Yeah, because not scoring a touchdown has way higher odds than scoring 2 touchdowns.
Precisely. So we're good. Found some interesting stuff when researching this one, though. Since week 8, Travis Kelce is the tight end 10 in fantasy, which is not numbers you want to hear. He also only has 2 touchdowns since week 5. And we've said it a million times if we've said it once. New England shuts down weapon 1. We just saw it where they shut down Kamara and Eckler. They shut down weapon 1, and Kelce is only weapon.
I would say, can I ask who weapon 2 is on the offense?
Exactly. New England is only allowed 11 per actual points scored. 11 points over their last 4 games. Are you going to bench Travis Kelce? No, you're absolutely not going to bench him. But this is where you need to lean into your upside plays at every other position, because it is very likely Travis Kelce is walking out of this game with 7 to 10 points, and I don't think any of them are going to be a touchdown.
I'm sorry, this is hilarious because you're the biggest Travis Kelce in the first round guy.
Yep.
This is so funny. I looked up
writing this whole thing hurt my heart.
David Njoku, pretty much undrafted, the tight end 3 in that same time frame. Travis Kelce had 73 fantasy points, Njoku 97. Trey McBride, undrafted, 97 fantasy points. Oh, and he had a bye week in the same sense. Oh, all these guys would have bye weeks for the most part.
Kelce did as well.
Back. Yep, take that back. Evan Ingram was being drafted in the 7th. He's like that mid-round guy.
Yeah, he had that monster year last year.
Jake Ferguson, undrafted. Sam Laporta was getting love towards the end of round.
Mostly undrafted, though. I
would say mostly, but I think some people were taking dart throws on him because they like the Iowa tight end. Cole Kmet, first off, fuck you. But Cole Kmet,
drafted.
Dalton Kincaid,
undrafted. People
no, Kincaid was getting drafted.
No, Kincaid was the one who shot up. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't drafted in all of my leagues, so I will say that. But Travis Kelce is only 3 points better than the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, Taysom Hill. Since week 8, Taysom Hill has only scored 2.8 less fantasy points than Travis Kelce, folks. That is insane. Travis Kelce has had 1 touchdown. Taysom Hill has had 4.
It's the touchdown scoring. They've got teams, Joe, they've finally done what you've talked about. They have taken Kelce away. They can't do it for the whole field yet. They'll figure it out. They may be. They have taken Travis Kelce away in the red zone.
They have. They 100%. And just to answer this one from Emma, Taylor Swift's first NFL game was week 3. Since week 3, Travis Kelce has been the tight end 1 on the season. But yeah.
Let's be clear. And yardage-wise, Kelce is still doing it. Volume yardage. I have Travis Kelce on so many fantasy teams. I am not mad about any Travis Kelce stat except the touchdowns.
Fair. That's fair. My picks. Wow, am I going to hate this one? You want to know why? Ryan cursed him. Also, this is asinine out of myself to even call this. Travis Kelce outside the top 20 against the New England Patriots. That pretty much means he goes like 1 catch for 20 yards. That I don't think it happens, but I also just got really fucking spicy with these because I have Max Crosby will have more sack and tackle for loss yards than Austin Eckler has rushing yards tomorrow night. Feels good. I like it. Have fun tracking that shit, Josh. But I think that's a fun one. You know, we want to get fun. I think that's a fun one. My only legitimate, I think this could happen is the Dolphins under 20 points against the Jets. If Tyreek Hill doesn't play, I would have said under 10 points. So, guys.
I mean, Raheem Mostert scoring 2 touchdowns on his own, so you're wrong. But 20 feels like a good pick.
Are we sure? Because
2 out of Mostert, 1 out of a Shane, missed extra point. I'll give it to you.
No, that equals 20. That
does equal 20.
Hey, Ty.
You'd have to miss 2 extra points.
Jason Sanders is good for 2 misses.
That's true.
Jason Sanders is good for 2 misses. What are you talking about? In New York? Yeah, he's good. Oh, sorry. No, this is
in Miami.
In fucking Miami.
Yeah, I meant to correct you on that earlier.
Regardless, it was on plain display less than 48 hours ago. That offense cannot operate without Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill's down, they are not playing. They can't play football. They simply can't play football. And we talked about this too, how important the 1 seed is to a team like Baltimore, to a team like Kansas City. It doesn't fucking matter for Miami. It doesn't. The Titans walked in there and beat them. The Titans, who are last in their division, walked in there. Keep in mind, the Colts and Texans are in their division. That team is last. That's insane. I can't stress it. I don't know how many more times I can just say how fucking bad and overrated the Dolphins are. I can't tell you how much they're overrated. Mike McDaniel is a great offensive mind. I'll give him that.
Offense.
He's a great offensive mind. The defense can't fucking play. They miss Jaylen Phillips a lot.
Words out of my mouth.
Very clearly miss Jaylen Phillips.
This defense looked, I don't want to say formidable. They looked competent with Jaylen Phillips. They do not without him.
Oh my God, no. Jaylen Phillips is a fantastic. He's not going to stuff the stat sheet, but if you look at pressures and just backfield pressure and all that stuff, he's always up there in the top. He's a fantastic edge rusher. He's not there. They don't really have a pass rush. Bradley Chubb has been a ghost since he left Denver. He has not been good. Zach Sealer fucking saved them with a defensive tackle pick 6 that Will Levis threw directly into his pocket.
That was crazy.
Xavier Howard, he went down injured. He fucking sucks. We've seen this. Xavier Howard's bad. Jalen Ramsey coming back. Yeah, he's been good. Name me another fucking guy on that defense. I was
gonna say, they need a pass rush in order to make this work.
Yeah. It just hasn't been good. And they need Tyreek Hill to operate as an offense. And yes, if you lose your number 1 weapon, are you going to struggle as an offense? 100%. You have to adjust. But if I told you your offense consists of top 6 pick Jalen Waddle, the leading touchdown scorer for running backs, Raheem Mostert, and arguably the most electric rookie in Devon Achane, and the guy who was in the MVP conversation, Tua Tagovailoa, with the best offensive mind in football, Mike McDaniel, You can't fucking score.
You got to put air quotes around best offensive mind. Andy Reid's.
I agree. I don't think McDaniel is there. Honestly, I think Kyle Shanahan is arguably the best. Okay? I think Kyle Shanahan's arguably the best. As a coach, he's fucking terrible. But as an offensive mind, he's pretty fucking good. When it comes out to the coaching, Kyle Shanahan might as well be a goose in a fucking field of chickens. He has no idea where he is. I don't get the metaphor either. I don't get it either, okay? I don't understand, but I do like Kyle Shanahan as an offensive mind. But yeah, I mean, if you lose, I don't know. I don't know how much more I can say about Miami that I have not said literally since.
Good, so let's move on.
Week 1. Hey, you highlighted it. You told me to talk about it. All right. Ryan, your streams of the week. Oh, we've talked about 2 of these guys.
Yeah, it's been a week where we've hit on a few of these already. Week 15 streams of the week, first week of the playoffs. Thank you for your trust. It makes no sense why most of these guys are even available right now, and that starts with Matthew Stafford. Even if you don't look at what he's done recently, just looking at the Washington Commanders, who give up the most points to quarterbacks on this season, you pick on that defense. Stafford has gone off in the last 3 games, 10 total touchdowns and 30 fantasy points per game. I'm also going to take Isaiah Likely again, taking on Jacksonville. Big week last week. Another great matchup this week. Jacksonville gives up the 5th most points to tight ends. Just got torched by David Njoku. Likely has 13 targets over his last 2 games and should be a top 10 play again this week. And on defense, let's go with the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Indianapolis is a top 5 fantasy defense right now. They are averaging about 9 fantasy points per game. Steelers are giving up 6 fantasy points per game, including 2 sacks and a takeaway on average. Indianapolis ranks in the top 5 for sacks and takeaways. They should be able to get after Mitch Trubisky in this one. And those are the Week 15 streams of the week. Full article available tomorrow. Good luck in the playoffs.
What a guy. What a guy. Josh, I answered that one, by the way.
Oh.
Out loud. Silly boy. Pay
Clearly,
attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
Timestamp, bitch. Not paying attention.
Exactly.
Jeez. Joseph starting Laporta over Kelce. Yeah.
It's 100% fair, and I have him ranked over him this year. This week I have Hawk. I either have Laporta as my 1 and Hawk as my 2. I have Kelce as my tight end 3 this week, maybe even 4.
He should be your tight end 21 because he's going to be outside the top 20. He's been outside the top 20. How about this? Against Miami, of all teams. They were also in Germany. Let's discount that game. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's been outside the top 20 before this year. And I say it every year that they come into this. New England does a very good job of stopping Travis Kelce.
They stop tight ends. They stop weapon 1. Travis Kelce is tight end weapon 1. This is right up New England's alley.
Yes, and because previously it was choose between Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and normally they do a great job against both of them. Now it's just cover Travis Kelce. So
I'm going to go with Emma here. Everything he does is just for Taylor. If Taylor needs him to suck, he sucks.
So what you're telling me is Taylor Swift is now rigging NFL games.
I think that's what this was all about from the beginning.
I think Taylor Swift is writing a song right now about the 2023 NFL season. And she needs to make sure that her boy Travis is doing exactly what I think the song's already written. She wrote the song. She wrote the script this year, folks. Come on. 2023, the year of our Lord and Savior Taylor Swift. Obviously. Caesar says, if not starting Goedert over Kelce takes me out of the playoffs, I'm suing everyone involved, Taylor Swift included. Honestly, I wish I had something to sue Taylor Swift for. She's worth $1 billion. I mean, Taylor, I'm not asking for a lot. Just enough to pay off my student loan. Just enough. Yeah. That's all. That's literally all I need.
I have a blank space in my bank account, Taylor.
Taylor, I'm not even gonna make a pun. I'm just gonna say that my student loan payment to you is like if I found a penny on the street. So that's all I'm saying. If we looked at both of our net worths, I think, I think you could spare some change. That's all I'm saying.
Don't be a bitch, Taylor. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, don't be a bitch. Yeah, pretty much.
That's a way to get her to acquiesce. There you go.
Hey, Taylor, happy birthday. Don't be a bitch. Send me money. Sincerely, Ryan Weisse. Jonathan sat Ingram last week for Goedert. Not sure if I can sit him again this week. I mean, no, I don't think you can.
I'm not rushing to start Dallas Goedert over people, especially not Evan Ingram, David Njoku, who are in good matchups. So I'm full on with starting the Goedert. Kind of fits in the middle, and the other guys are higher than him right now.
I like Evan Ingram a lot. I mean, I think this was the same tune last year. They started targeting him more and more towards the end of the season. So I would not sit Ingram. I would play him heavily. If what was it, Davis Allen can catch a touchdown again? Fucking
four catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown for Davis Allen.
If Davis Allen can do it, I think Evan Ingram has a good chance of being able to do it as well.
Yeah,
so,
I think me and Josh both like Parker Washington. We saw a ton of targets going to Zay Jones last week. Feels like Evan Ingram may be the biggest beneficiary of Christian Kirk being out.
He's a middle of the field guy. That's where Christian Kirk is living, those crossing routes. So, yeah, 100% makes sense. Shout out Parker Washington, though. Dog. Yeah. We love Parker Washington here. So, go team. All right. Thanks for egging on my coworkers, guys. I appreciate it.
I love all of our fans, but Emma has moved to number one because she came in right at the beginning of this whole Swift thing. So me and Emma.
It's the only fucking reason.
Yep.
It's the only reason.
It's okay.
I'm with it. I'm just a goose in a field of chickens.
We can milk this Taylor Swift and NFL inclusion for as long as we possibly can. I'm 100%. All for it.
Do you want to know where I pulled the goose in a field of chickens thing? You guys ever
No?
I really have no idea.
You guys ever seen the Vine of the little girl that says, "Look at all those chickens"?
Look at all those chickens, greatest Vine ever.
And it was they're all
geese.
They're all geese.
Yeah.
That I was trying to do something there, and nothing.
Now I like it
happened.
better.
Yeah, that was my thought process.
Me and my wife still quote Vines so much.
Wow. That's an old person thing to do.
Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens. Yeah. Jonathan asked, if Nico plays this week, would you start him or Ty Chandler if Alexander Mattison is out?
I'm probably running Ty Chandler out. Who does Houston have? Why am I blanking? Tennessee? In Tennessee, doesn't matter much. It's a calf injury. No, I usually don't fuck with leg injuries on repetition and reoccurrence. Give me Ty Chandler.
Josh?
I'm not starting Ty Chandler in a playoff matchup. God, no.
I am literally...
If I'm going to go down, it's going to be because of the guy that helped get me there. And that's Nico.
There you go.
It's called ego, folks.
Josh told you a way to lose. I told you a way to win.
And now Joe's
You're bound to get as many points if Nico Collins leaves after 10 snaps if Ty Chandler plays all 60 or whatever.
And now Joe's going to be the tiebreaker. I said last week that I am arguably the biggest proponent of the Cincinnati Bengals run defense.
You are.
In the world. Arguably the biggest proponent. They play Cincinnati. In Cincinnati. I would go Nico Collins. Yeah, Nico might be good for one catch and 20 yards and maybe a touchdown. And honestly, he might not even need the touchdown. Those 3 points might be more than what Ty Chandler gets you. So, I mean, you'd be like, your saving grace is Ty Chandler out of the backfield. The thing you have going against you and the perks of having IDP guys on this show, Logan Wilson is the second best cover linebacker in the NFL behind, you guessed it, Fred Warner. So I don't love Ty Chandler this week. Points per rush. Ooh, does that change anybody's mind? He gets a point per rush.
Well,
I mean, if it certainly doesn't change my mind.
Back, it does not.
But he's saying if Madison's out.
I mean, if Madison's out, then yeah, I probably would lean Ty Chandler at that point with the points per rush aspect of it.
If you're assuming 15 rushes, you get a 1/10 of a point per rush. That's an automatic 1.5 points. Yeah, maybe at that point.
Yeah, I guess it really kind of depends what the points per rush. Like, is it one whole point? Is it like 0.25?
If you get a whole fucking point
If you get a whole point, then it's Ty Chandler by a mile and a half. It's not even a question.
Also, Derrick Henry's the RB1.
Yeah.
Every week. It doesn't even matter. Derrick Henry could run for 50 yards and he'd still be the RB1 in that league. It depends, but I'm more inclined on Ty Chandler with the points per rush. Still probably leaning Nico Collins, but I am much more intrigued at the thought of Ty Chandler getting all the carries and no threat of Josh Dobbs taking away runs from him.
Yeah, you got Mullins back there now.
Nick Mullins is not known for his agility, folks. If you haven't seen Nick Mullins play football before, not really known to be the slickest of men back there. Some might call him a traditional pocket passer.
Some might call him a goose in a field of chicken.
The slickest of men sounds...
The slickest of men.
It just sounds inherently dirty. That just doesn't sound right. The slickest of men.
I don't know that I hope this goose in a field of chickens thing just sticks for me because I want to reference it forever.
I pulled it from a good source too. Like
I hope Taylor fits it into her 2023 song about the NFL.
Emma, gonna need you to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Taylor, happy birthday. Fuck you. Don't be a bitch. Send me money. Also, have a song idea.
Yeah. Let's chat, girly.
All you gotta do is get her phone number. I mean, was she not gonna pick up?
Yeah.
So easy. Oh boy, what a show. Well, I don't even. I just hit end stream. I don't even wrap up at this point.
I love how we for 45 minutes talked football, and the last half an hour, it has been something else.
What do you mean? This has all been about football.
That's true.
A goose in a field of chickens. That's essentially Kadarius Toney's life when you think about it.
Well, real quick before we sign off, if anyone out there is a women of fantasy football or knows women of fantasy football, the latest Unwind with WAF event happens tonight at 8:30 Eastern. If you want to shoot a DM to Rachel, her handle is at TootsiePop6 on Twitter. She can provide you with the Zoom link. It's a great opportunity to network with other women who love football, love playing fantasy football. Anybody from content creators to fans. There's been a lot of really awesome women that have been involved in these, and it's a great way to just kind of network and hang out with other women with commonalities. So,
love it.
We love women. We love women in sports.
Yes, absolutely. We do.
Yeah, I work with 3 of them on my team. Yeah, so we love women in sports here. So I don't want to make jokes anymore because that was like a really lighthearted thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we just
I mean, we just went from Kadarius Toney as a goose in a field of chickens to, hey, support women in sports.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. Love how Emma was trying to say, hey, that's me, but said, hey, that's men. Yeah, you're damn right.
You're such a misogynist, Emma.
Yeah.
Has Taylor taught you nothing?
This is a man's world. Yeah. As James Brown said back when he was singing, this is a man's world.
Back before I had facial hair.
Back maybe before you were even a thought. I don't know when that song.
Yes, it was certainly before I was a thought.
I was like, I don't know the exact time frame of James Brown, but I don't think you were around.
I think that song is like early 70s.
Yeah, this is a man's world. Like I think that's like my dad's childhood.
I think that's fair.
And you're not as old as my dad. So You know what, Ryan? Congratulations.
Thanks.
Also, Lou, eat shit. I mean, why not? Why not?
We're giving it to everybody.
Listen. He doesn't shop for my Christmas gifts. He just gives Kara the credit card and says, "Go have fun." So he always says it's a miracle if she doesn't buy things and stops herself. So shout out, Mom. We love you. For Josh, Ryan, and myself, and for the left foot of Kadarius Toney, you can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. For all these gooses, we will see you